And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It's the Texas Two-Step today. Of course, some great shows coming up over the next few days, too, as well. We'll be doing that. Taylor Borton tomorrow. Heath Wright from Ricochet going to join us tomorrow as well. They just put out a brand new album. And also Friday, Lemon Cash coming here on the program. And here in a few weeks, Josh Turner right here on the Backstage Pass. His Greatest Hits album comes out this Friday. Pleased to welcome in one of the top rising groups there in Canada and across the states out there. The new singles taking the wind by storm and the world by storm. She got that. It's Chris Chase and Jeremy from the band Rivertown Saints. What's up, fellas?
How's it going?
Man, good to have you guys. Well, I tell you what, let's kind of start right there because I love this song. And usually when I love a song, we're going to spend as much time as we need to on it to talk about it here, presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends at Honky Tonk, Texas. She got that. And I'm going to throw it to you, Chris, because I love the RTS we're talking about right by your name. You had to get that in, no doubt. And at the same time, this single for a lot of people out there, man, that's doing it, and it's real, it's kind of fresh, and it's got a great sound and a great vibe.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. Thanks, Brandon, for having us. And this single when we write that, this was like probably the last song we wrote actually, and we kind of put it out pretty quickly, and we just wanted to catch all those vibes, the summertime vibe, and and just the whole reason that we all know and love country music. Good times.
When you look at a song, and of course, I always tell people not everything is going to be a top 10 hit. You guys have had, millions of views out there with YouTube and Spotify streams and stuff like that. A top 10 hit. I remember, Bonfire when it came out too. Love that one. What's been the key to success out there? Has it been the fans, the social media, a little combination of everything, Chase?
I think just being genuine in the product that you're making. Because lots of people like to go with a recipe or, the cookie cutter way of doing things. And I think if you just stay true to what you think is right, things will work out. So.
And Jeremy, kind of on that same thing, a great song, as we all know, starts with the songwriters itself. Either the artist or the band kind of, puts their heads together and say, we're going to write this, or we're going to collaborate a lot with some of the best songwriters there in Canada or in Nashville too. And I think a lot of people don't realize sometimes it always starts with the songwriters themselves.
Yeah, we this was a fun one. We wrote it with Jason Blaine, fellow Ontario Ottawa Valley boy, and it's nice writing with him because we know Jason pretty well, and he's a friend as well as a great writer. So it's always super chill when we get together we usually write at his place in Nashville, and so. Yeah, it was. We were driving over to his house, and we were kind of like, we need a summer song. We want it to feel fun. We want it to feel Old Dominion. We want to have that kind of rock pop vibe. Just something that's memorable, something that gets stuck in people's heads. They can sing along to. And I think within like 20 minutes, kind of thing, we kind of had a hook for it and some chords, and just hammered it out over the afternoon, and yeah. And then we went and where did we eat that day? I always forget. I was like, remember our rights based on where we ate.
I think Mexican.
It was Mexican, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the place, but it was good.
It was awesome.
Real good.
Yeah.
Good queso.
Okay, so that's good. I'm getting Mexican. Tonight's Taco Tuesday, so definitely I got to get Mexican from one of my favorite places here. Hey, tell me about all the great success. Well, with this comes the nominations, CCMAs and CMAO too as well, Canadian Radio Music Awards, and of course Canadian Country Music Association. All that cool stuff, coming through it. A song like Bonfire, Chris, to kind of really open this thing up and see the Pandora's box and everything kind of come into it. What's that felt like? I mean, the nominations from both your publications, organizations, and to see you guys kind of come together with these special songs and build on that.
So the start of this band, it was kind of a rocket ride, honestly. Out of the gate, we were doing, pretty well for the most part, and it just kind of rose very quickly. And then of course, what they say with the music industry, here today, gone tomorrow. Well, it rose right up, and it was fantastic, and it was great. And I mean, I loved every minute of it. And then it got hard for a while, and we had some members change and all that. And, it's sometimes it's really difficult because when you had this grade of success, out of the gate, you kind of go like, oh man, is it over? And we just kept on going. We had, a few conversations amongst each other on, do we keep this thing rocking? And the answer was yes, absolutely. And the past 12 months have been kind of another game changer of getting back on with the label and having a great management team, and a great team around us, label, booking, management, everything. So we're hoping we can kind of get back to maybe winning some awards and all that stuff. But either way, we're here for the long haul, and we just love doing it. It's about passion more than anything.
I want to interrupt there, Chris. I didn't want to interrupt you when you're talking because I'm working on getting better at that. But when you said it got hard there for a little while, I really just wanted to say that's what she said. And
yeah, she did.
Yeah. So I'm rewatching The Office right now with my wife. So, so it got hard for a little while there. That's what she said.
We know what's cool about it too is you have fun with something because, like you said, with every rise comes that fall, and you come back down to earth. But I think it's the key word to me, Jeremy, is perseverance and anything like that. I come from a high school background, which makes this sports all about this show about sports and music at the same time, and they so integrate each other because perseverance is everything. You can't tell an athlete who wants to go from high school to college to the pros to skip the college level and just go from high school to the pros, because that's not how this works. The time they put into it is what they get out of it too at the same time. And going through, I think, Jeremy, these trials and tribulations just make you guys even that much more of a band, make you that much more stronger. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think we've always kind of looked at that there are those people who there's those people that are just prodigies, and they maybe they get interest early on, and they make it real far real quick, and those are the one in a million. I think for most people, tenacity is your biggest asset in sports and in music, because man, if you only did it when it was fun, you'd stop doing it. And if you only did it when it made money, you'd stop doing it.
Or you'd never do it.
Or you'd never do it. Yeah. So kind of like,
you would have given up 15 years ago.
Yeah,
we've all had those sort of internal and external discussions where it's like, what is this all about? And at the end of the day, it's like, we're making music, and if you're doing it for any reason other than that you love doing it, you won't keep doing it. And so for us, I think, and it becomes kind of a badge of honor too, like realizing that you can get through some pretty crazy obstacles and stuff like that, and you get really good at problem solving, and then that's a tool that's in your sort of in your belt for it. And man, problem solving is an asset in the music business.
Even in the podcast world, I'm learning after doing this for 4 years. Problem solving, scheduling, you become real good at dotting I's and crossing T's, no doubt. We got to take a quick time out here more with the guys from Rivertown Saints. Again, you guys can go download the music we're talking about today and then some. Give them a like out there. She Got That is the current single, and of course, rivertownsaints.com for all the information out there too as well. We all have the .com behind our name today, so make sure you guys go check that out. Give them a like across all these social media. We'll take the time out here, come back and preview some shows tomorrow, and of course continue the conversation with Chris and Chase and Jeremy, Rivertown Saints, here on the Backstage Pass at HighTideCountry.net and powered by the SportsGuys Podcast.com. Coming right back. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail Pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, Rivertown Saints joining us here on the Backstage Pass. We've got the quad box going here today and then some with Chris and Chase and Jeremy of Rivertown Saints. So She Got That, the current single across all the digital platforms And make sure you guys check out a little bit over there at rivertownsaints.com too. I want to go back to a song that I found was really awesome on that first album you guys had put out. And I think I mentioned it at the top of the show here, Chase. It was one called Cherry Bomb. Let's get a little details on how this got started.
Actually, that would be one for the other guys because that was before my time in the band.
Okay.
I am the new lead singer. I guess I'm not really new anymore.
You're not a new guy anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, not anymore.
Yeah, that one wasn't my baby, so I'll let one
Chris,
of the other guys take that.
What was the take on that one? I actually loved the Cherry Bomb, even before, like Chase was saying, different lead singers, and we talked about perseverance and getting through all that too. But just one of those songs that really sticks for me.
Oh, thanks, man. That was an early on one. We were, man, I think it was one of the first songs we ever recorded. In fact, it was the first of the first bunch. And we didn't write it. I wish we did because it's a great song. But an Australian fellow by the name of Phil Barton, he penned that along with some other great co-writers. And we had been writing with Phil, and that one was tossed our way, and we loved it the first time we heard it. It was actually a lot different than when we played it. It kind of had way more of a choppy groove to it, and we kind of made it a little more rock sounding when we recorded it. And but yeah, that one, I mean, somehow we managed to get like several million YouTube hits on it. I'd like to think it was. I think it was probably because of me being in the video, or maybe Jeremy. It might have been something like that, or it might have been our friend Kelsey Main that was featured in the video as the lead female role.
Yeah,
perhaps a thumbnail.
She definitely had something to do with it.
Something to do with it. I love that one too. And there was another one actually came out this past February, if I recall. Of course, every country song needs just that good old breakup song. And this one, ironically, they call there "Breaking Up." Let's talk about that one a little bit.
I'm so glad you like that one.
That is
well, in the not to say, because I'm happily married and have been for 13 years and have a daughter too, no doubt. But at the same time, you could y'all know relationships are everything, but sometimes that one person is just not meant for the other person, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
go ahead, Jeremy.
That one was that's probably my favorite song we've written and recorded, but literally like we were going to the right that morning, and like in the shower that morning I had just this idea for breaking up with you don't mean a thing, like because you never actually break up, and came into the right with that sort of that title, and that one like came together super quick, and it was just a fun hook. And then the guy who we worked with, the producer we worked with on that one, was like a guy out of Toronto who does a lot of rock stuff, and just the way he kind of took what we had demoed and what he turned it into. We were super stoked about it. Probably leans a little hard into the rock side of things, so we never tried that one at radio, but it's probably my favorite song.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably my favorite, at least one of my favorite songs that we've put out this year, as far as it's just what it is.
It's just not the same as what we do, so it's hard to it's hard to like it as much as we do.
I mean, what we did with that too is that we during the whole COVID thing and the few years after, when we weren't really sure what was going on with shows, industry, whatever, and we weren't on a label at the time, we just kind of put out what we wanted to do. And that's how that song was born, and a few other ones as well.
You know, what's cool is to see the Canadian side of things. Y'all mentioned Canadian Country Music Awards, and I pay attention to all that up there, and just do so much talent featured out of the great, country up there too at the same time. And you look at Canadians like Lainey Wilson, Megan Patrick. I mean, even good friend Gord Bamford, who I've had here on the show a few times too. And these great artists like yourselves, either be a band or solo artists, just continue to kind of kick ass and take names, Chris. I always say, is there something in the water? Because I feel like now some of these top Canadian artists, Canadian bands are really crossing over into the U.S. and they're getting their sound and their feel out there and their style of music.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of iron in the water in my parents' well, sulfury in other places, but no, in all seriousness, in Canada, I mean, there's a lot less population compared to the United States, and I feel like you know, there's just always been some great musical talent in this country, and well, entertainment talent for sure. And I think that, you know, because there's not a whole lot to do up here, especially in the wintertime, I think people just have time to, you know, they put in their time and they get good at their craft of songwriting or singing or performing whatever they do. And I think that's probably a large part in why there's a lot of talent coming out of Canada.
Jeremy, what's your take on that?
I was going to say the same thing as Chris. Like we got a country that's bigger than the U.S. and has 10% of the population. So you know, if you drive 3 miles in any
Okay, I know kilometers too. I've been up there. Some of my best friends are
yeah.
from there too. I always say Can American is kind of like, but many times I go up there with friends of mine on the west side.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love it. It's just, I love it.
You drive, you know, 10 minutes in any direction and you're essentially in the country up here. So I think a lot of us, I mean, you know, it's maybe not cowboy hats, but I mean, a lot of us grew up hanging out, you know, we spent our time outside playing in the bush with buddies and getting into trouble with all that stuff. So, yeah, also the drinking age is like 2 years younger here and the beer's all stronger. So, I mean, it all of that contributes to a thriving musical community, I think.
Well, I love it. Chase, would you say kind of the same thing along those lines? As Canadian artists just kind of like taking over now?
Yeah, there's, you know, I'd say there's we have a big building period and not such a big festival and show period in the seasons, you know. So we got about 3 to 4 months of playing, and then the rest is just making sure everything's better the next year, right? So.
As far as it goes, you know, moving forward now, I mean, we're September now. Year's kind of getting to that final quarter, Chris. When you guys look at, you know, moving forward now and obviously building on the single, which is doing really well out there for you guys since it came out. Tell me about the next chapter, the next phase. What are you guys looking forward to? More singles, an EP? What's coming up next?
Yeah, for the first time in a while, we actually have some songs in the bank ready to go. So we got 2 or 3 right now. And usually we're kind of scrambling to stop arguing and pick a single, for God's sake. But yeah, right now we've got some cool stuff coming up next year. We're going to do another single this fall. More of a traditional sounding country song. At least I think, unless it's probably up for further discussion, but that's one of them. And then we have a great song that we're going to be putting out in the new year with another. It's a duet with another artist, which I can't disclose that information at the time, or else, our manager will hit me. But yeah, so yeah, we gotta, you know, I was kind of just thinking today, like, we got to get to some more writing as well, because, you know, once those songs are out, then we need to we need to get our butts in gear. So. But it's looking good. We got a handful of things going on this fall, which is which we haven't had in several years. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to what's to come.
I really enjoy this too, Chase, because I've heard some people describe, even to me too, about the live shows, just, man, electric, and just kind of you guys, the great harmonies, which I hear in the songs, no doubt too, and the, you know, high energy, the stage presence, things like that. I can't wait to get out to a show. I told my guest way back then, since Chris brought it up, I'll say it here on the show. Love and Theft was on with us a while back too, here on the Backstage Pass, and I said, I've never seen you guys play live, but you guys remind me so much of what they have done and held it together. And of course, they've been at the top and, you know, had kind of hit that bottom point, rose back up. But what is it about it, Chase, those live shows that just makes it bring out your sound and then playing in front of those live crowds?
You know, I think it's just how much fun that we have together when we're on stage. It's very genuine and it's almost infectious, I've heard, because I've never watched our show from the crowd. I'd love to, just to see what we're doing, but yeah, I've heard that we're having such a good time up there that it makes other people enjoy themselves as well. And I think that's just the whole part of it, right? Is if you're enjoying what you're doing and the people that you're working with are also on board with everything that's going on, it's pretty hard to not have it go smoothly and have it be a great thing, right? So
Yeah,
I think that's just the whole part of it, right? So
no doubt. Jeremy, that live shows, you kind of get that same feel, that same, itch when it comes down to it. Like, man, this is the crowd. They're singing the songs back to us. I mean, they paid their hard-earned money to come in and have a few, get a buzz, enjoy a concert, and just having that stage presence and really just getting fans to sing those songs back to you.
Yeah, I think for Chris and Joe and I, we grew up playing in like punk bands and rock bands and stuff. So the stage presence part, like we had to tone it back so that we didn't look like meatheads out there. But that comes like real natural, just to you're having fun and you're playing music. And I think really what people catch on to when they see us play is, like Chase said, it's like, it's the thing you do it for, it's like, it's what you drive 8 hours for. It's what you sink all this money into gear and all this time into practicing, is for those 45, 60, 90 minutes on stage, whatever it is. And so I think people see that like we are really having the most fun we get to have. And yeah, and it's authentic. And again, like Chase said, people really pick up on that when you're having a great time. Obviously, when they know your songs and they sing it back to you, that's a huge rush. And then that makes you perform harder, and then people enjoy it more. And it just becomes this like circular kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of great artists too, Chris, do things that are amazing, not just from the live side of things, with the fairs and the rodeos and festivals and things like that, getting that it's just to play on stage. And like Chase said, do what you love to do. You never work a day in your life, or hopefully you don't feel like you do. But you guys were very instrumental. I read somewhere, and this may have been a while back, but y'all raised over $50,000. Chris, this was for the mental health and wellness in Ontario. This was during the pandemic. Talk to me about this, and congratulations on reaching that number and then some.
That was that was definitely during the pandemic, and it was I think that was a Huntsville show. That was in Huntsville. That was so that was something that our manager and some friends of hers put together, and we got to hang out with all the organizers of that event, and it went off without a hitch. And the hospitality, of course, is always great. People donating their cottages up there, because it's cottage country, for us to stay there, and have a nice warm meal and stuff. I think we got a bit of rain that day as well, but all in all, we've been involved with a lot of different charities over the years, and there's this one we've been doing as well every June, and it's up in the Ottawa Valley, so it's kind of closer to our hearts as well. And that's in Pembroke, Ontario, and that's with our friend Jason Blaine. He always invites us back year after year after year to his charity golf tournament. So we've done a few golf tournaments too, and I know that you have the Sports Guys podcast, but I got to say that I am not a good golfer whatsoever. Nor am I good at any sport, really.
Terrible golfers.
Hey, I don't play them anymore. I'm retired.
I'm okay.
You're okay.
You're retired. Yeah, Chase thinks he's good, but the truth is that he drinks too much beer, and he just thinks he's doing well, but he's actually like hitting the sand dunes with his ball, and I'm just tossing a new one up there for him.
I always say, if it's not, I use somebody else's tee when I get up to the tee block, and if it's not my tee, it doesn't count, right? So
that's a good strategy.
That is a good strategy. Yeah.
It wouldn't even help me. That's how bad I am, but it's a great strategy.
Like, I'll occasionally do, Chris, the top golf a little bit here and there. I try to go play with a buddy of mine, especially when the weather's not like, triple digits outside as it's been here in Texas, but at least the fall coming up, I'll ease back into it. And lately I've gone out to, I don't know if the putt golf counts, Chris, but for me, it's like at least working on one of the most important parts of the game where you could win or lose that quick. But I did beat my wife at putt the last 2 times we've gone out. So I guess that counts for something.
Absolutely.
I gotta say,
take any win you can.
Yeah.
Because you brought up the weather in Texas, and this will probably blow some of your listeners' minds, is that in Canada today, in September, it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, it's pretty hot today.
That's like that. I was talking to my buddy in Florida the other day, because yesterday it got up to like 94, 95. And he was like, "Don't you live in Canada?" I was like, but Canadian, like Ottawa, where we are summers, man, our weather is insane.
We get like the worst summers and the worst winters right here in Ottawa.
Extremes of both.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, the contrast to the comparison of it too was like, let's see, 4 or 5 years ago, I went there. I'm gonna try to go back next summer, but with everything opening back up the way it was, I'm glad I went in 2017 at the time, because when we spent 2 weeks up there, and it was like triple digits here in Texas, Jeremy, every single day. And I spent the morning of his back porch playing before we went to play golf, drinking a cup of coffee at like 55 or 60 degrees on his back porch in July.
Yeah.
I spent 2 weeks up there, and it was the best fun I ever had. Went played golf. Could wear shorts. I had to go put pants on because it was kind of cold. And I'm just sitting there. It was awesome. But I mean, that's just the give and take on the winters. I know are brutal, as you've said, Chris. At the same time, you get some decent weather in. Well, that was the west side at the time, but there's a change in this little, global warming they call it now.
I think we're just wired as Canadians that like anytime it's hot, regardless of how uncomfortably hot it is, we're just like, yes, we'll keep it. We'll take it because like minus 30 is coming.
Well, that's just it. Like as soon as you see the leaves start falling off the tree and you get that cold wind, you're like, oh man,
yeah,
it's good.
This is not good.
It's coming.
It's
no doubt. Well, I'll tell you what's coming here. We're going to talk about a song called Goodbye Ain't a Game, which is the Rivertown Saints. One of the songs out there came out last year, last December of 2022. We'll talk about that and then some. Take our final time out here. And we're going to do rapid fire with the guys here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. Some football stuff coming up this week, high school, college, and pro. We'll talk to the guys about Canadian football, some NFL, get their insights of their teams on the segment coming up again at their website. And of course, hightidecountry.net, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey, coming right back. Stay tuned. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
And, of course, coming up here in a few weeks on the show, Josh Turner going to join us here. We'll talk about his greatest hits album coming out September the 8th. Looking forward to that. And always appreciate, like I said, Josh spending some time with us here on the Backstage Pass. And we've had a lot of the legends and, of course, the 90s country stars and the best of the best today. If you guys ever missed a show, check out hightidecountry.net, internet radio out of Oklahoma City, and, of course, the Sports Guys Podcast.com. We keep all the videos up there tomorrow. We'll talk to Heath Wright from Ricochet. That song Daddy's Money and a whole lot more. They just put out a brand new album August 18th. Looking forward to that. Then another great group on Friday, Lemon Cash, coming here on the program. Looking forward to that too. Back here with Jeremy, Chase, and Chris of Rivertown Saints. It is the Backstage Pass presented by Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Honky Tonk, Texas. So whoever wants this one can take it, because I'm about to get into rapid fire. But I love this song, Goodbye Ain't a Game. And the words speak true in that tune.
Yeah, Goodbye in a Game. So we wrote that. That was another one of those ones we wrote probably a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of, we were coming up to the wire and when we had to put out new music. So we kind of wrote it, demoed it, and recorded it right away. And how'd that one come together? That was we wrote that with Jimmy Thau, a fellow Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all in the room. Yeah. All three of us. I think it was just us three and Jimmy. And it's kind of a, again, it's like a breakup song, but it's way easier to write a breakup song than it is to write, like a party song, I find these days. But it's just a good rockin' tune. With an eerie sound.
If I remember correctly, it was that day we were in the room a little bit early. Jimmy came in and he said that he made this chorus that morning because there's this little thing that he does every day. I guess he gets up and he writes a chorus every morning. So
that's right. Yeah.
He actually had that one in his pocket, and it wasn't exactly the same as what we have, but it was an idea of, goodbye in a game. It's kind of a sports. He wanted it to be a sports song, right? And and we were trying to throw in different things like, beat at the buzzer, different sport analogies to go through the song. And then we were like, what if we make it a breakup song? And also kind of there was a couple of things we played on words in there. Can't really remember exactly what it was, but
that one came together really fast too. Actually, that was like
so fast.
2 hours or an hour and a half in and out, and then we went to lunch, which was really cool.
And we were celebrating Jimmy Thau's brand new cut. He just got a cut on Blake Shelton's new album. I guess it's not new now, but it would have been new then.
Nice, Chase. I'm glad you remembered that, because I started thinking, I'm like, that's not the same day I was thinking about.
I loved another one you guys have put out there, which was last September. You toward the end of that too. Turn It Up, which is another one of those songs that just like it describes everything that's in the title. To put a little something that was a feel good music, Jeremy. That's got you nodding your head too.
Yeah, that one.
There's a lot of us in the room for that one.
That was that was like the whole band, and then Emily and Karen. Kaczynski.
I can never pronounce her last name, but two more Canadians actually.
But that one we were kind of like, let's just write a dumb rock song kind of thing. And like we were like, because we'd written some like sort of deeper stuff on that trip, and we were like, we started this right at like 5 p.m. at night, and we were like, let's just let's not try to overcomplicate it. Let's make a big guitar riff. And kind of thing, and we actually, that song we like started and we were like, no, this is the wrong direction, go back to it. Do it again, and we'll go back to it. And then finally it just kind of came together, and then we had Karen actually we put together a demo with Karen, and then when we brought it to our producer during that thing we did during COVID, he was just like rockified it more. And so, but that's a super fun one to play live, because people don't need to know it, because like by the end of the first chorus,
all you need to know is turn it up.
Yeah.
And there was a pretty gnarly solo that you played that we have video of, and then I think we ended up swapping it out because like it was way too gnarly for. I mean, I wanted to keep it personally, but
people weren't ready for it, man.
I guess it was going to melt their faces. That's what we were afraid of.
It's just like Back to the Future when he plays that big solo at the end.
There would have been ready for it, right? Just so many spontaneous pregnancies if we'd put that in. That's
we don't. Yeah, the world's already too populated.
Yeah, no doubt. And melt the faces, and a good rock song is going to do that too. All right, my favorite time of the show. Love doing this. A little rapid fire. So, Kristen, we'll start with you here. Favorite NFL sports teams, NFL, Major League Baseball, Canadian, basketball, whatever. What do you get into?
Oh, God. Well, I used to be into hockey in the 90s, Toronto Maple Leafs. But I was into the Anaheim Mighty Ducks because of all the movies back in the day. Paul Correa.
Oh, Korea. Love that. Good stuff. Chase, what about you when it comes to sports? What teams do you get into?
I mainly only watch hockey usually, and I cheer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, of course, but usually and always disappointed. So
I saw Jeremy he's like shaking.
I watch for a few weeks and then I stop watching.
You stop watching. Jeremy, what you got? Hockey? What professional college sports teams?
I'm an Ottawa Sens guy. I will watch the Senators anytime I'm home and there's a game on. Usually I'm illegally watching the Ottawa Senators, and so because Chase is a Leafs fan, and so we have to have this pretend rivalry going on. But at the end of the day, neither of our teams ever do well. So
you want to know what though? I'll still go watch Ottawa Senators games over Toronto any day, because I'm not going to take out a loan to go see Toronto lose.
Valid point.
I love hockey. I'll watch any teams play, man. Like that's why I love the playoffs, because I'll watch the game I want and then I'll watch 3 more.
That's the best part of it. Well, and you're right about that. You got to find, like, I went to a college football game this past weekend, and you can see what's affordable out there to do it compared to the NFL side of things with the ticket prices there too. But it's here for another day, I guess, when it comes to taking out the loan, as Chase said, to go watch professional sports. Chris, favorite fast food to eat, I guess, when it comes to anything in Canada or the States? What do you like?
Man, any place that has burrito, like Chipotle or Barburrito. Definitely not Taco Bell though. I'll go with
They call it-
Chipotle.
They call it Taco Hell for nothing.
Yeah.
Chase, what do you like from the fast food? What's your favorite?
I'll go Canada and then America. I'll go Canada is Wendy's.
All right.
And then America is Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
not tried. Yeah, actually, I've seen those. I've not tried it though, but I've seen them when I've gotten to Nashville and some of the big cities there. I haven't seen
When
it.
I was in LA, I had it, and it was one of the
Pretty good, huh?
best burgers ever.
All right, I got to try that. Jeremy, what you got?
I'm gonna go plain old McDonald's, man. I love my McDonald's in Canada. In Canada, I love my McDonald's.
In Canada, oh yeah.
It's different in the States. And you know what? I love Waffle House.
Oh yeah.
I love Waffle House.
It's considered fast food. I mean, it's pretty fast service there.
It's
We love our
gross.
food.
It is.
And like you need
Yeah.
to shower after you eat at it, but I love Waffle House.
It's good.
I know what he means by
Every
that too.
Every time I leave, I have tinnitus because of all the yelling.
Yeah.
You know, I'm surprised nobody said Tim Hortons, Chris, but I tried that for the first time when I was up there, and it's still, I'm okay. I can dig it in Canada. I'm
Yeah.
up there, and I got to have something that wasn't bad.
I think we're all like I love me a good Tim Hortons as well. But I
There's
think
just
All right.
one. There's like 3 on each corner, like across the road from each
Yeah.
other up here. It's insane.
I think we all take it for granted. That's like
Yeah, kind of like we do down here for like some of the things y'all mentioned, the Chipotle, Wendy's, or
yeah.
McDonald's. Well, really
Yeah.
the McDonald's, I guess, because there's one in every corner that we travel here in Texas now. All right, Chris, this may take some thought. First song, whether it be a cover or your own or something else, first song to ever sing live on stage by yourself or as a member of the group.
Oh wow. Okay. So there's this band. It's a Christian band. We used to all be involved in like our worship teams, and Christian rock was what I was into a long time ago. So the first song I ever performed live was Balloon Ride by this band called Reliant K.
Okay. All right. I've not heard that. Okay. Well, I got to investigate that now. I got to go hear that song. Chase, what you got? First song ever to sing live on stage.
The first one I was to ever sing live would be Whiskey Glasses by
right.
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. Yeah.
And that was at the Christmas concert in my hometown.
I love it.
My mother and my sister usually take part in it every year, or every 2 years or something. I don't know, but they take part in it, and they convinced me to do it. And then I sang Whiskey Glasses,
All right.
and at a Christmas concert, just to make sure you guys understand that. Then I joined Rivertown Saints shortly after, and
I
then
love it.
the rest is history.
That's
a
because
great-
you sang Whiskey Glasses at a Christmas concert.
I
That is
just
why
did it that well. Yeah.
you got invited to the band.
Jeremy, what you got? First song ever on stage.
It was Basket Case by Green Day.
Here you go. I know
Nice.
that's
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
One of the best out there too. Amanda says McDonald's hot coffee is so much better though. Yeah, it is, no doubt. Especially when you want it for like $1 out there too. That Jeremy's
Yep.
right. McDonald's
It is.
hot coffee is the shit. No
You want
doubt.
to know a story though about that? I think it's because I heard a rumor a while back that Tim Hortons dropped their provider for coffee, and when they dropped it, McDonald's bought on with them, so now they have the old Tim Hortons coffee. So that's why
Really?
it tastes so good. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay. I used to, and I still, buy in store with the little Keurig, and I have the little pods, so I try to make it in the Keurig when I get. I still mix a little bit of that, but there's something about Dunkin' Donuts coffee to me. It's just still the shit when it comes to just good morning brew. If you're not having Folgers, at least a good backup there is there. It said Amanda says Jeremy, reluctant RTS member. Put some emojis up there. I'm not sure. Okay, Chase is right. It's working. Oh, at Tim Hortons when that happened. Okay, all right, there you go. So,
What's
love
up,
that.
Amanda?
I love you guys tuning in there too. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, it's fantastic. The story is awesome. So glad I got to know you guys and the music, and I know, perseverance is the key, man, for every great band to stick together. And it's songs like She Got That, which is across all the platforms out there. Stay tuned, you guys that are listeners out there, to the next drop of the single coming this fall, and go check out all the social media and rivertownsaints.com. You guys, tour schedule coming near your way. If they are, purchase a ticket and go out and see the guys play live, because I know it's a kick-ass show and I can't wait to see them in person. Jeremy, Chase, Chris, appreciate the time today. Hope you enjoyed it. We got to do it again, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks for having us, man.
You got it. The one, the only Rivertown Saints across all the digital platforms And she got that. And make sure you guys go download if you have not already. Our thanks to Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Honky Tonk, Texas. Tomorrow, Heath Wright from Ricochet coming here on the program, been trying to track him down. We've done that. And, of course, Josh Turner coming up here in a few weeks here on the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com and, of course, at hightidecountry.net. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.